This from Page Africa. I'm Obadiah Johnson. I'm here with two administrators of the Urey's property. They're situated in Kirisburg, outside Monrovia. As a matter of fact, Kirisburg is one of the areas located in rural Montserrat counties. The two administrators of the Urey's property based in that part of Liberia are Mr. Edwin Urey and Mr. Ivan Urey. They are here following series of allegations leveled against the Urey's family by another family claiming ownership of 1,000 acres of land situated in that part of Liberia. Let's begin with you, Mr. Edwin Urey. Welcome to Front Page Africa.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about this property that is in question.
Well, this property that is in question was purchased by our great-grandfather, Daniel Webster Urey, in 1890. And this property has been in the care of the Urey family since the 1890 to present. We have operated on this property, open farms on the property, build guest houses on the property. We have been enjoying our property in peace until 2018, when we noticed people encroaching on our property, and we decided to take this matter to the court to inform the probate court, because the probate court is the overseer of interstate estate. So we went there with our complaint, and we were asked to carry on a survey to identify a portion of land that was being encroached upon by intruders. So we did the order of the survey, went to the LLA, got the permit, everything, scheduled the day for the survey. A renowned licensed surveyor was appointed to carry on this survey.
What's the name of this surveyor?
His name is Charles King. So on the 28th of April 2018, at about the morning hour, around 10 to 11 o'clock, we got on the scene to commence the survey, and we encountered strange people. One of them named by the name of Abraham Babot, and one Daniel Gamondet, and so many others. They were in like 200, in number of 200 or so. They came in, knocking on the cars of the surveyor, threatening to burn the car of the surveyor if the surveyor continued the work. So while doing that, the surveyor retrieved and went to the police station where he complained, and also filed a complaint to the probate court. And we also went to the probate court with our complaint, with the names mentioned. They were called upon to the court and asked them to give reason why they had to disrupt a survey that was legally ordered by court, and they said that they own the property. But for 9 months in court, they could not come with any titles. So if the judge ruled that we should go and remove all the cornerstones that were placed on our property with all our consent, and that order was sent to the police station along with the sheriff to carry on the exercise.
Which court did you report the matter to at the time?
The probate court in Kirisburg.
Who was the judge?
Judge Amos Fagan.
Do you have the documentation of the judge ruling?
Yes, we have. So we did that, removed those stones, and then a group took us back to court and said that we are encroaching on their property, but they called themselves this time the Kabuya. So when we got to court, our deed already in the court, so they submitted deed. So we asked the judge to send the deeds to the land authority for authentication, so that we can carry on survey to find out the ownership of this property. While in the process, the judge gave a ruling on that for the case to go. The lawyer said he has something to spread on the floor. And then he said that the instrument proffered by the Urey family was instrument of fraud. That means our deed submitted to the court is fraudulent. So the judge then never had jurisdiction to go through fraudulent matter. Ordered the clerk to send this matter to the civil law court so that the judge and the juror can go through this issue of fraud and return the case to him for continuance. We went to the civil law court and the party could not prove fraud on our document. So the juror came in a verdict and ruled in favor of the Urey. At the same time, the judge came with a final ruling and he ruled. And as we hear today, this is the ruling from His Honor Judge Roland Down. This is a ruling that states that the Urey deed is not liable of fraud. So in this, we thought that it was timely now for us to go back to the probate court and continue this.
When was the ruling delivered?
The date this year is 2019, 11th day of December 2019. Okay. 11th day of December 2019. So we felt we have gone back now to prove their land ownership through survey, and then they took appeal to the Supreme Court. They took the appeal to the Supreme Court. They had under the law 60 days to process the appeal bond, which they did in time. And but then they should have processed the files and other documents to send to the Supreme Court clerk. They didn't do so. They left it downstairs with the lower court. We have to go and superintend all the documents to go to the Supreme Court. While awaiting Supreme Court opinion on this matter, the same group of people turned around and came and sued me, Edwin Urey, and few others who have houses on the property for injectment, that they should remove us from the property. So they show a bit of information that we carry on construction work, they should move us from the property. So this matter went before His Honor Judge Peabody. And my lawyer informed Judge Peabody that the party suing is the same party who challenged the Urey title. So Peabody cannot go through this matter because the land in question, the titles in question of the land is before the Supreme Court. So what would be the defense of a client when his title is being challenged before the Supreme Court? So Peabody should wait on the ruling of the Supreme Court, but Peabody refused. He said the case was a different caption, so the case must go on. However, we went to the case and we asked whether this indeed that was challenged can be proffered. And the lawyer had no objection to that. So we proffered the deed, and then we requested that to solve this matter, we should do arbitration. We all agree in court for arbitration. We processed the arbitration document, send it to them. They refuse to sign, but yet they still bringing in a bit of information that will carry on activities on the property. And to make it clear to the public, this property in question is where we reside. I have a guest house there, business that was running before. That guest house was built since 2006, and we have other property on there with family members living there. So the property is already being apportioned among family in sections for themselves. So they have right to operate their property, so they are there. So now that they gone to the court, they could not sign the bill of the arbitration. We also went back to the court and requested investigative survey. We requested investigative survey. Edwin Urey requested the investigative.
What's the status of the investigative survey?
The investigative survey presently is in the hand of the chairman of the committee. He have done the field work. He put in the documents together to submit to the court. We still awaiting the report from him.
Which committee are you talking about? Which committee are you talking about?
The committee set up from LLA. The LLA, the Liberal Land Authority, sent a chairman called Tom Nimland. He's handling the investigative board on the investigative survey. And I have my surveyor there. He's a licensed surveyor also. His name is Abogia. He's also there. I'm not familiar with the surveyor name. So the team have to work and submit the report to the court, and the court will call us to get back there and get the funding to continue this matter. But we haven't reached that stage yet. So coming up, I'm saying that Judge Peabody placed a stay order. Yes, Judge Peabody placed a stay order on Edwin Urey.
Just before you go to the stay order reportedly placed on this matter by Judge Kennedy Peabody, tell us what was the verdict rendered by jurors previously in this matter when a case was reported at the civil law court?
Well, I can even read it right here, right now. The final judgment, I think the verdict all here. They say, having denied the motion for new trial in the caption case, summarized the various testimonies, and provided reasons and relevant laws thereof. The said ruling is hereto incorporated into form a part and parcel of this final judgment. This court says that the objector, having failed to prove fraud as they allege, for which the trial juror has brought a unanimous verdict of not liable, the said verdict of the trial juror is hereby confirmed and affirmed. But
when was the verdict rendered by the
11th
jury?
day of December 2019. And like I said before, after this verdict, we should have gone back to the probate court and conduct a survey to prove the ownership of this property that they're claiming. But then they took appeal, hanging the case. So while we're all waiting for the appeal to be concluded, then they start suing individuals. And I'm protected by the estate deed because I'm part of the estate. So stay other place. Right now you go to Carisburg, my guest house is not operating. It's closed down. The window glasses they broke based on rioting they brought here. It stayed the same. I'm not operating my guest house, so I did not violate any laws. The estate order was never placed on the Urey administrators. Let's get it clear.
Where or who did the Urey family purchase this 1,000 acres of land we are talking about from? That's one. And when was it purchased?
The land was purchased from the Republic of Liberia in 1890. In the 1850, there was public land auction built out past.
1890?
In 1850.
Okay.
And within a period of time, in 1890, my great-great-grandfather was able to purchase the land from the Republic of Liberia. And to make one thing clear, the Republic of Liberia sold land with lot number, range number, and the land was laid out properly by the Lands and Mine Agency or Ministry at the time. So they laid the property out and put it up for public auction. So when you as an individual have money, you can go and say, I want this piece, and you can buy it, and it's numbered. It's numbered. And all land in Carisburg have a bearing. All of them are running southwest 28 degrees in the 1800. So if you check property owners in Carisburg, all of them have number attached to the property. But as compared to the deeds that they brought in claiming land, which is the deed that you see here, the deed is what they brought. The deed has, when it comes to the lot number, is nil. There is no number. And they say the land commenced with salt tree. Liberian government planted salt tree before selling the land? No. Liberian government sell land based on range number and lot number. And when you buy your land, you can plant your salt tree. So no land Liberian government sold in Carisburg area that has salt tree planted already before they sold the land.
What
no.
differentiates your deal from the deal being preferred by the family in question?
Well, you see, we didn't want to go through the process of challenging the deed to be of fraudulent deed. So that's why we asked the court to send the both deed, our deed and their deed, to the land authority for authentication. Because we know in our deed is properly laid out, you know, by the land commission or the lands and mine. You see the range number, the lot number, all mentioned in our deed. And besides that, this deed we have, if you check the Liberian law report, anybody that listening can go and check Liberian law report in the 50s, you will see that this lot number, 1,000 acres, lot number 1 in Carisburg is lot number 1. The lot number 1 is mentioned in the inventory of the Urey property in the Supreme Court.
When was your mother deed signed?
1890.
Can I see your mother deed? Do you have a copy of your mother deed?
I have a copy right here.
Do you have a copy of a mother deed?
Yeah, I have a copy right here. You see the endorsement section right here? Okay, the deeds begin from here.
So is this the 1890 deed you're talking?
This is a certified copy of the 1890 deed. See here? Now
Who is or are the signatories?
The President of the Republic of Liberia at the time, Hillary R. W. Johnson, signed this document.
He was the president at the time. This deed was this land in question was purchased by your ancestors.
Yes.
How many acres?
1,000 acres.
So how many acres the Doba youth family is actually claiming?
They are claiming 224 acres. And the land they're claiming from the investigative survey went on, the points they show came from another adjacent party land. There's a party there called the Harper General Alexander Arrow Harper property. If you can see here on this investigative map that was drawn by the landsman, this map was produced in the 70s because the area you see here in the green here was the first person who encroached on our 1,000 acre block. So this matter went to court and the government, they put all our investigative survey and this survey was done. When this survey was done, you see the map, you see this is the Morova Kakata Highway running here. Our land commenced from behind the road here. And this portion of land you see here is for Alexander Arrow Harper. The page and volume number all mentioned there. And at the bottom here, towards the Mamban side, in Magiri, towards the Magiri side, Mamban side, you see we have people here. You know, we have the Coco, we have Moses Coco right here indicated. You see, and all the people who were on this survey, the names are mentioned here. You have Brown W. Ping, you have Dominic K. Hinnan. These are people that were heading the investigation at the time.
Those that were reportedly squatting on your property, what action did you take to either remove them from your property or have them perpetually stay there?
We never had any issue with people squatting on our property because their land been over there, been helping the environment for farm work and so on. We only had issue with people who are encroaching by selling the property. So on this property, we have 3 villages on the property. We have Gatatan, we have Women Jimmy Tati Baston, yeah, he live village here. We have the Batan, is our cousin Darlington Johnson Rubber Farm is there, he had a camp there. And then we have Pokosan. Pokosan is a town where my grandfather had people who used to work for him, the Umen, Lamin, Gente, Siapa, all of them, Kasako. They used to work for my grandfather. They were also residing there. So we never had any issue with them to evict them from there. We never had any legal issue with them. But few of their grandchildren are the one who joined with this guy called Ibrahim Baba from Nizu to jointly come and bring in a deed to say they have property within our property and illegally selling the land. So this is what's going on.
One of the families of those claiming the property is alleging that the Ureys normally carry arms to instill fears in the people, particularly inhabitants or occupants of the land in question. What's your reaction to this?
That's a very big lie. In fact, we have been threatened, we have been afraid. It happens that in the month of May 2018, May to June 2018, we could not enter our own property because the same Ibrahim Baba brought more than 30 guys with black jeans trousers and black t-shirt, set checkpoint to the Zero Junction. The people in our village would not come on the road after 10 o'clock. They terrorized us. They brought rioting. In fact, they mentioned that one of the men were flogged and a house was burned and so on. No, they brought rioting in the month of June. The police came from Central when the riot was reported to them. They came and arrested them. And PSU and ERU came and arrested them, turned them over to court, and they were charged for rioting and damage of property and whatsoever and aggravated assault. And I had they went to South Beach before going on a bond. So not a day that we went on the property that me every year will have gun on me. No, I do not have gun to take around. I always refer to police. I always call police, and I have record to prove that I always calling police whenever I see somebody on my property.
This case has dragged on for a while now. What do you think is taking so long for the final adjudication?
Well, legal matters in this country, I don't know whether it's maybe the courts are maybe limited in numbers. So I don't know. But however, we are getting to the point now because just recently, the first case that they accused the Urey of being fraudulent was partly heard at the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, when we got to the Supreme Court, their lawyer who filed in the appeal did not do a brief in the case.
What's the name of this lawyer?
The name is Sam Cooper, Councilor Sam Cooper. He did not do a brief in the case. When we got there, that case would have been heard, but he did not do a brief. When the Chief Justice asked him, he said that a client took away the file from him after he filed any appeal. But you're filing an appeal, you did not file the appeal along with his brief. So I don't know how you file the appeal or doing a brief along with the appeal.
Do you sense that this lawyer in question is trying to get himself out of this matter, since in fact the case has no legitimacy?
In fact, he mentioned it in the Supreme Court. He mentioned it, and I can quote him on that. He said to the Chief Justice that the people who took their file, so he couldn't do the brief, and he left the case because they were not paying him. So besides that, he said also he advised his colleague Milton Taylor not to sue the parties because the case is before the Supreme Court, and Milton Taylor insisted you're going to sue for injunction on somebody who was party to this particular case that before the Supreme Court. So you see, they hang the case in the Supreme Court and start creating new case, at the same time selling my property, selling the Urey property. As we speak, if the journalists can go there now, there's a big Bible mission there that they sold. The Bible mission is there. You can go and find out there who all they sold land to. They've been selling this property throughout. So to say that
are you thinking about taking legal actions against some of these alleged illegal occupants on this property you are talking about?
Of course. What we're doing is we are waiting for the opinion of the Supreme Court. That's the higher court in the nation. When the Supreme Court come up with an opinion, and then we get back to Carisburg, to the court, to the probate court, or whatsoever subordinate court we go to, we will definitely serve a judgment on people who occupy our land with all our consent. We will definitely do that.
For the sake of those watching you, the lower court ruled in your favor previously, and an appeal was taken to the Supreme Court by the other party. What kind of appeal was taken to the Supreme Court, and what is the status of the case before the Supreme Court?
Okay, the case that was taken to the Supreme Court, it was on the case of the Urey being accused of being fraudulent, which the lower court ruled that the Urey was not liable of fraud. So they were dissatisfied with the ruling, saying that they have points to prove that the deed is fraudulent, so they took the appeal to the Supreme Court. So that's the case that before the Supreme Court. And we're hoping that after this bar convention now, the Supreme Court is going to call us back there to look into this matter. And we are very hopeful that this case will come to a conclusion right after the Supreme Court opinion, because we know our deed to be genuine. So we do not have any doubt on that.
All right, let's hold you there and go to Mr. Urey. Mr. Urey, you were reportedly born on that property. Did you manage to establish whether or not there was other boundaries demarcating your property from others in Carisburg?
Yes, personally, I was born on that property and live on that property presently. We have boundary with General Harbor. We have boundary with the Knockers. We have boundary with Coco. We have boundary with the Genesis. But if you look on the deed, they don't have any boundary with any of these people that they name that call there. They do not have no boundary at all.
Who do not have boundaries?
The police guy called Kabuya. This guy called Kabuya. They don't have no boundary with anybody. They are sitting on the land in Carisburg. But if you look on the deed, you see that the deed is saying Montserrat, but Carisburg is not mentioned. You go to this document.
So this family is claiming that they have over 200 acres of land in Montserrat.
In Montserrat, but not Carisburg.
But Carisburg is part of Montserrat.
Yes, but I think if you bought a land or piece of land in your area, the area needs to be specified on your deed, on your document. But if you check this document, it will say Montserrat, so these deeds can come from anywhere, any part of Montserrat. These deeds can start from anywhere. And Carisburg land they are in such a way that the government leaders they property up. In Carisburg laid by the government.
Are you claiming that there on the deed will be another part of Montserrat County and not that particular 1,000 acres of land?
They are saying Monserrato Tatitan, and not Monserrato Carisburg. So if this deed can stop it from anybody Monserrato,
So yeah,
we get time to find where this Monserrato Tatitan.
so it implies that there are so many Takitans in Monserrato.
Exactly so. And you see when we're in Carisburg, 2014, my late brother and my older sister were at the court and put a caveat on the land. The first person that bought it then was one David Besa. You can see the caveat was placed on the land. But they ignore the caveat, and this man, he have completed his property presently. He have completed the horse that the caveat was placed on. 2019, they brought this other deed when the judge of Carisburg called for everybody to bring a deed. They brought this deed from Marshall territory. They were claiming part of Monserrato from Marsh. They brought the deed to claim a deed or portion of our land from Marshall territory.
Is it the real?
This deed not a real deed. It's not from Carisburg. How can you claim a portion of the Carisburg in Monserrato when the deed is saying Marshall territory, one King George. This deed is saying King George. I don't know from Marshall territory. As you can see here. You can see here Marshall territory. So how can you claim a land in Monserrato and you bring a land or deed from Marshall territory? Then you claim land in Monserrato. How can this one happen?
And to add up, look at this deed, the Urey deed. You will see land is situated in Carisburg. You see here, Carisburg.
So the deed from the other family is not clearly specifying that their property was purchased in Carisburg.
No, they just say
only Monserrato.
They just say Kaboya of Tatitan, Monserrato County.
But what I'm yet to understand is that Carisburg is also part of Monserrato.
Yes. So
does it in any way imply that the area should be specified?
Yes, in every legal deed. If you buy land in Broadville, they will say Monserrato County, Broadville, Monserrato County. The area you bought the land will have to be specified on your deed. That's how it works. If you buy the land in Nima County, Ganta, they will say Ganta City, Nima County. You understand? They will not just say 5 acre land bought in Nima County. Nima County is a vast area.
Mr. Urey, I guess you've been selling or leasing portion of your property to others. What are the names of some of those you have either leased or sold your property to in the past?
Well, I leased my property once, and that was done with the Seco Construction Company. They leased my guest house 2013, and they use it. And apart from that, we have few individuals that we sold land to before this land issue came up in the court stuff. So we have, I don't know if I should name all of them, whether it would be a right thing to do, but we have like a Dr. What is the president to the technical college at I can't remember all the name in my head like that. But we have one Ferdinand Reeves who sold land to. He's there. My aunt sold land to one Kim Harris, and myself sold land to Kim Harris. So we have several individuals who sold land to. Yes.
Now tell us.
And all the deeds you'll see there, Carisburg.
The stay order has partially affected the operations of your guest house. How is it affecting you?
Yeah, since the riot that they took there in June, my guests are closed because of the riot. And then coming with George Peabody stay order on me and those individual names that listed in our rate, cause my guests are not to be open there now. So that's why I'm trying to clarify here. George Peabody, because George Peabody is saying that the case before him is not a case of the Urey that before the Supreme Court. Their case is about case against individual that for injectment. So the state order affects me as individual. Me as individual, not the Urey administrators. So that's what I want to clarify here.
I guess you have been told how many dollars or cents were spent by your ancestors to purchase this 1,000 acres of land that is in question. can you specify the amount that was spent to purchase this property by your ancestors at the time?
Yeah, it's even right here in the deed. It's 500. 550. My glasses, I didn't bring it here. But you can look right on the D here, you'll see it there. It's 500. Even, please show the place here. Yeah. It's $500 paid to the treasury, the sum of 500, 10 over 100, which is the cent that will pay. Okay. Having been the whole amount of purchase money.
Okay, many persons...
Because to a point, the land sales at the time was around $50 per acre. 50 cents per acre. That's how the land was sold by Liberian government. It was not our price. We didn't have graded price. We're talking about 19 issue 50 cents, you know the value at the time.
Okay, many persons would like to wonder, just in case this land is your legitimate property, why our family owns 1,000 acres of land, since in fact there are others still struggling to just own a lot of land. Do you find pride in just owning so many acres of land while others continue to struggle looking for a piece of land or parcel of land to construct their businesses or homes?
Well, I don't know who are those struggling for land, but even in present time, right, there are people in our society that are buying up to 1,000 acres of land. It depends on your willpower, what you can afford to buy. And in Montserrado, you found out that Montserrado County, especially this capital city, everybody attraction here because of the commerce. It's here where people come and make ends meet. So everybody want to acquire land here. But they see individuals you see coming here today looking for land in Montserrado, they own thousands of land too, or hundreds of land in their own region. You understand? And those lands are there on their names. People from Nima here looking for one lot to buy, but they have 500 acres in Nima. So a relative, it doesn't matter, this is our home.
Okay, let me just come to you. Despite the stay order placed on this property, you are still residing there.
Yeah.
I'm still finding it difficult to reconcile. Why are you still staying there?
The stay order did not say eviction. The stay order said do not do further.
In terms of selling or in terms of what?
In terms of developing. And like I said, the stay order was placed on me because I have a structure there. So the structure is affected by the stay order. The stay order was not placed on administrators of Daniel Webster Urey. The court has no record to that. You understand? So the family business will continue our family business. Yeah.
Do you see that this matter has any political undertone? Firstly, I want to know your relationship with Mr. Bernard Urey, the political leader of the All Liberian Party. What's your relationship with him?
Bernard Urey is my cousin.
It's a cousin.
Do
you see this case as one that has a political undertone?
Well, you see, I think from this interview done with them in a few days, tells me that they want to put it into politics. They want to bring this divide of Congo and native issues. But the issue is not that. This is issue of legal issues where people will prove titles, and when you prove your titles in court, the court decisions hold. So coming to Bernard Urey and calling on the president that the Congo guys here, they're taking our property and so on, I think we should be addressing the legal instrument we have that will prove our claims. And even this issue with even Urey, Edwin Urey being administrator of the family, was not Bernard Urey's decision. This is a general family decision, and the property in general is not Bernard Urey to benefit, it's for the entire family to benefit. And Bernard Urey have never been in any way, one day, even going to court with us. They have never been there. We have one of our oldest in the family, one brother Weeks. She's been going to court. She's about 86, 87 years old. She's been going to court with us. Bernard Urey have never fought her in court one day. But they're trying to get it involved so that it can become politics, you know, and so on, calling President Weah and so. President Weah is nobody's enemy. He's my president. You understand? I supported CDC before. Because we're not political business here. We're not talking politics here. We're talking about people ownership. Maybe President Weah has his own property. If somebody encroaches on it, he will go through the legal process the same way.
Well, let's hear from you. How do you see this case, Ifa?
Well, this case, they want to go on the other side, but for us, we are going through the legal means. We're waiting for the Supreme Court ruling. You know, when I sat in the Supreme Court, when the Chief Justice was asking questions about our case, I fear or later be released. The way how that case was conducted, while he was asking the question, I knew we would have some good hearing from our case. So we are waiting on the Supreme Court ruling for the case. We don't want to go any other means that we hear from the Supreme Court.
So is there anything finally you'd like to say? Let's begin with you. Is there anything you'd like to say finally?
Well, I'd just like to say that we don't want to go anywhere further. Riot, we did talk about riot. Riot is not our case, it's not our issue yet. If we want to go riot, we will not be calling police. For survey, we call police. We call the Liberian government to help. They on the other side of riot. We not going that route.
Let's say for you, Mr. Edward Urey, others are viewing this as Congo people allegedly wanted to take the land belonging to native people. What do you think?
Well, I don't want to accept that. I know there will be few criminals who will try to put it in on that side, but this country has graduated from that level of native Congo issue. This country is for all of us, and we have the right to enjoy the peace of this country. When anybody have a claim, and that claim enter into legality, they should go through the legal process and get the redress. So the issue about native people have right to own property, and the people, the so-called Congo people or American Liberian, they have right to own property. This country for all of us. It's not for one person. So to go forward in this country, the issue about native and Congo issue should be put aside, and we face the facts. And where they talk about people will die for property, no, we're begging them. We do not want anybody dying for property. We want you to prove to the people that you are right in your case, then dying for it. So we do not want anybody to come with a form of violence. Let us wait for the court ruling, and then we'll go through this matter. We are sure that the property for us, and it is not a crime for anybody to own. In fact, if you go through the Supreme Court inventory stuff I told you about from the law report, the booklet here I will give it to you. You look at it, we have the Urey acquired 3,150 acres of land in Kirisburg. 3,000, and now, apart from the land we have in Kirisburg, I personally just bought 10 acres for myself. You understand? And we are looking for more land to buy because we are farmers who believe in farming. Go to my house, you see farm below my place. We believe in helping. We help people. We do charities program and stuff. You know, so youth in Kirisburg, they are my responsibility. So I'm not here for no violence. I want the truth from the court, and that's all we want.
Thank you very much. Two administrators of the Urey's property there in Kirisburg, rural Montserrat County, clarifying some allegations pertaining to 1,000 acres of land that is being claimed by another family there in that part of Liberia. Listen to them, and they also provided some documents claiming that these documents are the legitimate documents giving them ownership of the property in question. My name is Obadiah Johnson, saying thanks to you for watching.